بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد علمتم الذين اعتدوا منكم في السبت فقلنا لهم كونوا قردة خاسئين. And you certainly know of those amongst you who transgressed in the matter of Sabt. We therefore said to them, become apes, despised. Dear brothers, it is narrated that 70,000 men from the people of Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam used to live in the seaside village of Ela. It was near Uqba. These people were living in a luxurious and prosperous life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested them by prohibiting them from fishing on Saturday, Yawm as-Sabt, and permitted them to catch fish in all other days of the week. Allah Azza wa Jalla Jalaluhu tested their faith by making many fish appear during the day of Sabt and making none appear during other days. However, upon listening to the whispers of Satan, they began to dig drain from the sea to the land, resulting in formation of ponds on the dry land. Satan further misguided them by giving them the evil idea that Saturday, when fish come to the ponds through these drains, close the passage of drains and do not catch fish that day. Instead, capture them with ease on the next day. They liked the satanic idea, but they didn't realize the fact that the day when they captured fish in ponds, that was considered to be their capturing there and then. Therefore, capturing fish turned out to be the day of Saturday, which Allah Azza wa Jalla Jalaluhu had prohibited them. On this occasion, Jews divided into three groups. There were some people who refrained themselves from fishing according to the command of Allah and attempted to tell others to do the same. They showed anger and hatred towards those who were disobedient. The other group, they disliked and hated this act but remained silent. They didn't restrain people from indulging in it. They instead said, those who tried to stop them, that why you advise such a nation that Allah is either about to destroy or going to inflict them with His anger and torment. And the third group was of those insolvent and disobedient people who openly opposed the commandment of Allah Azza wa Jal by following the evil temptation of Satan by fishing on Saturday openly. They ate as well as sold their fish. When this group of disobedient people, they didn't refrain them from evil acts despite being forbidden from it, then those who attempted to stop them said that they would no longer keep any ties with them. Therefore, they built a wall to separate themselves from the wrongdoers. The village of 70,000 people now was divided into two, with separate entrances and separate exits. Wrathfully, Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam cursed the hunters, and consequently, no one among the disobvious came outside the next day. Some people climbed up the wall and see them. And what they saw, that all of them were deformed into shape of apes. When people entered by opening the doors of wrongdoers, the apes would recognize their relatives, would come close to them and sniff their clothes and weep bitterly. But people would not recognize the ones turned into apes. Those who became apes were 12,000 in number. They lived for 3 days and couldn't eat or drink anything in between. And all of them died because of striving out of thirst and hunger. The group of people who restrained from fishing remained safe from annihilation, and the correct saying is that Allah also saved them from the annihilation who considered it evil in their hearts and remained silent. Astaghfirullah. The same event is narrated in Surah Al-Araf in verse 163, 164, 165, 156. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. واسألهم عن القرية التي كانت حاضرة البحر إذ يعدون في السبت إذ تأتيهم حياتنهم يوم سبتهم شرعا ويوم لا يسبتون لا تأتيهم كذلك نبلوهم بما كانوا يفسقون وإذ قالت أمة منهم لم تعظون قوما الله ملهكهم أو معذبهم عذابا شديدا قالوا معذرة إلى ربكم ولعلهم يتقون فلما نسوا ما ذكروا به أنجينا الذين ينهون عن السوء وأخذنا الذين ظلموا بعذاب بئيس بما كانوا يفسقون فلما عتوا عما نهوا عنه قلنا لهم كونوا قردة خاسئين. Allah. O dear Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and ask them of the township that was by the sea, when they used to exceed in the matter of sabt, when the fish used to come swimming atop of water in front of them on the day of Sabt and not come on the days it was not Sabt. This is how we used to test them due to their disobedience. And when a group among them said, why do you preach to a people who Allah Azza wa Jal is going to destroy and mete out of severe punishment, they said, we have an excuse before our Rabb, and that perhaps they may fear. And when they forgot the advices they had been given, we rescued those who forbade evil and seized the unjust with a dreadful torment. To recompense to their disobedience, consequently, when they rebelled against the command to refrain, we said to them, be apes despised. Dear brothers, we learn how dangerous it is to disobey the commands of Allah and fall into the trap of Satan. Furthermore, we learn how wretched those individuals are who are cursed by a prophet of Allah. Their signs get wiped away from the face of the earth by getting caught in the punishment of Allah. They become fuel of hellfire and become despised in both worlds. There are many lessons and advices that every Muslim can derive from this heart-trembling event of the people of Elah. May the fear of Allah thrive in our hearts. After listening this event, give us the enthusiasm to stay away from the evil temptation and remain steadfast upon the straight path and become successful in both worlds by attaining our honor and respect. نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى على سيدنا ومولانا محمد أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العظيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم ارفع عنا البلاء والوباء إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وأعز وأجل وأتم وأهم وأكبر.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Align your rows. Turn off your mobiles, please.